I'm sure there have been challenges you faced as a researcher, and that's always a point when shared that can benefit younger researchers or just other researchers who may not have considered the challenges within the context you've been working with, within the Caribbean and African context specifically. So what would be two major challenges that you would say you faced as a researcher that you would want other researchers to look out for?
Yes, good question. I think, and interestingly, at this stage, I say I started as a geography teacher, but at this point, all of my teaching is around research. So I'm a research advisor at the doctoral level, at the master's level, and at the bachelor's level. And I'm also encouraging my colleagues to get involved with research in a climate where research really is either something foreign, other people do research, or people simply do not realize that we research the space that we are in. So I think that the first challenge that people have to overcome is understanding what is research. It's not something out there, it's not something overly grand. It really is about making something that moves you. And I keep saying that researchers should research something that moves them. You really want to find out the answer to this particular question for yourself. So I think that's one. Understanding what is research and looking around you. So for example, we have some movements at the University of Belize where a new union is being established. There's an opportunity there for research. This movement of all teaching online, there's an opportunity there for research. So you have to look at what's around you. That's one. And then the second thing is keep researching. I keep a project on the fire all the time. Some projects can take forever, and 5 years you can spend on a project, but have a couple projects. One of the things that my mentors, Dr. Lance Brown and Dennis Conrad, did with me at the very first AERA conference was to help me establish a research work plan. So we identified potential and actual research studies. And every year I go back to this day, we did that first in 2010, to this day, and I add something. I mean, some things are there just sitting, and they've been sitting there for many years. But there are a couple of projects that have come from conception to publication, which is what you want to do as an academic. But do what you enjoy. Do the research that you enjoy, that you're going to spend time on. So within the last couple of years here in Belize, I've encouraged a couple colleagues for us to work on research to produce. And so I'll add a third point, even though you told me to. It's important that you do, for me, and I can only speak for myself, collaborative research really helps to push. If you try to overcome this by yourself, it could be overwhelming. But I have belonged to a network of women, international network of women. And in the times when I did not belong to a university, when I had no university affiliation, it is the work of that network, continuing researching through that network. AERA was always our goal. So we would be doing something for AERA, a symposium, a paper, something. That kind of collaborative work really helped, take me along the path of being a researcher and has me where I am today. So just keep at it and keep enjoying it and increase your knowledge of what is research and how to do research. That's what's working for me at this point.
Well, my next question kind of pings off from that one, because it's asking you, well, how has the SIG participation in the K-SIG helped you along your journey as a researcher?
So I've spoken about my mentors, Dr. Lance Brown and Dr. Dennis Conrad, who really encouraged me back in 2009 to become involved in the SIG, to submit that proposal. And this year I was doing the same. I had about 3 people, come on, you've got to submit that proposal. And I think that really was the first step, getting that 2000, thinking about your research in 2000 words and participating, submitting it to the SIG. Because our SIG, having served this program chair, I know that some of the top Caribbean researchers are submitting to the SIG. And so it's a good platform to showcase your work to the Caribbean audience, but also to the international Caribbean and African studies and education is what we're about. So we've seen some really interesting cutting edge studies come through SIG. The SIG is a great opportunity for professional development. And I think of all the activities that the SIG has held, the mentoring activities, the business meetings, the online Zoom sessions that we have had this year because of the cancellation of the actual face-to-face meeting. It's an opportunity for professional development, an opportunity to link with Caribbean and African people across the world, and just to share your experience. And to get those collaborative networks. I can't think of how many friends I've made through AERA and through the SIG.
Excellent. Well, the final question I have for you is, what final words of advice would you want to leave with any of your colleagues or just any of the novice researchers we may have, maybe just joining the SIG for the first time?
I would say to them, make sure that you are researching things that have longevity. You know, so you pointed out, you could see in my work and a theme of identity. So if you can find a theme that you're really interested in, that you could build on over time, that would really help. Because I look back, and I can look back on a 11-year career being associated with SIG, for example, and that looks, you know, it goes so very quickly. So in a very short time, you can deliberately build a career around a theme. I remember going to, again, the very first AERA, to the session for new academics, emerging academics, and the advice given, I can't remember. I remember that Cynthia Dillard was there, but I don't think she was the person who gave the advice. But the advice given by, I think, Rob Milner is his name, was always have one that you're working on, one piece that is, and I'm sure you've heard the advice, right? One piece that you're working on, one piece that's been sent for publication, and one under review. So it's almost like a little circle and cycle, and you keep going. And one doesn't sound like much, but 1 over 5 years is 5 or more, right? So at least one paper, one presentation. If you consistently maintain that, and that is what I was able to do outside, even when I was not associated or affiliated with a university and not working. Just maintaining that 1 in 10 years equals 10. And that gives you a publication record. So don't think that it's insurmountable. You just need to stick with it and find a theme that you can build your work around. That would be my advice.
Excellent. And that's certainly a great point to end off on. Well, let me say thank you so much, Joyanne, for sharing with us.
And thanks for your wonderful questions.
Thank you so much. I am Dr. Verna Knight, and I'm your case program chair for this year. And we've been talking with Joyanne about her research journey. And we want to invite you to look out for another segment. Hopefully we're going to have one coming to you very soon. And you can certainly reach Joyanne with any questions you may have about her work. Her email is jd4, that's the number 4, Babb, B-A-B-B, @gmail.com. And I'm sure she'll be very willing to respond and to share with you accordingly. You can certainly also reach out to any of our SIG executive members if you're interested in sharing your own research, or you want to simply engage with us in the mentorship program you'll be hearing a little bit more about. So until next time, We look forward to your participation in our upcoming AERA 2021 virtual conference in April. And we say to you, all the best and keep safe.
Thank you very much.